Your bank account is a mirror, not of your skills, not of your education, not even of your opportunities. It's a mirror of your deepest, most hidden emotion about money. And right now, that emotion is either fear or faith. One of them is running your financial life like a puppet master, and you don't even know which one is pulling the strings. Here's what nobody tells you. The wealthy aren't fearless. They feel the same terror you do when they take risks. The difference? They've learned to make fear their employee instead of their boss. Fear or faith? That's the choice you make every single day with your money. And today, we're going to expose exactly how fear has been sabotaging your wealth, why faith isn't what you think it is, and the exact mental shift that separates the broke from the abundant. By the end of this video, you'll understand the invisible war happening in your mind every time you think about money. The money emotion. Every financial decision you've ever made started with an emotion, not a thought, not a calculation, an emotion. Before your logical brain even wakes up, your emotional brain has already decided. Buy or don't buy, invest or hoard, ask for the raise or stay silent. Neuroscience calls this the amygdala hijack. Your fear center processes information 60 times faster than your thinking brain. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. But here's the problem. Your amygdala doesn't understand money. It evolved to protect you from tigers, not stock market crashes. So when you think about investing, starting a business, or asking for more money, your brain screams danger as if a predator is about to attack. Survival. Your brain treats financial risk like physical death. And that ancient programming is why you freeze when opportunity knocks, why you self-sabotage right before a breakthrough, why you stay stuck while watching others succeed. But what if fear isn't your enemy? What if it's a signal you've been misreading your entire life? Fear's secret job. Fear has one job, just one, to keep you alive, not to keep you happy, not to keep you wealthy, just breathing. And from fear's perspective, it's doing an excellent job. You're still here, aren't you? The problem is that fear can't distinguish between real threats and imagined ones. To your nervous system, the fear of losing money feels identical to the fear of losing your life. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your thinking shuts down. It's the same ancient response whether you're facing a lion or a loan application. And fear has learned something terrifying about you. It knows that keeping you small keeps you safe. Every time you didn't apply for that job, fear won. Every time you didn't start that business, fear won. Every time you accepted less than you deserved, fear celebrated. Playing small feels safe. But here's the truth that changes everything. Safety and security are not the same thing. You can be perfectly safe in your comfort zone and completely insecure about your future. If this belief hit close to home, hit like and subscribe to reprogram more of your money blocks. The next one might be the one holding you back the most. Fear promises protection but delivers prison. And the price of that prison is everything you could have become. The poverty program. You didn't choose your beliefs about money. They were installed. Before you were 7 years old, you absorbed everything your parents believed about wealth. Not what they said, what they felt. Did they fight about bills? Your nervous system recorded it. Did they say rich people are greedy? Downloaded. Did they worry about the future? Installed as your default operating system. Give me a child until he is 7, and I will show you the man. These programs run silently in the background of your mind, making decisions before you're even aware. They are the reason you feel guilty when you have money and anxious when you don't. Why you sabotage yourself right before success. Why wealth feels dangerous even though you consciously want it. Your parents didn't mean to program you for poverty. They were just passing on their own fear. And their parents did the same. It's a generational virus of financial anxiety, spreading from mind to mind across centuries. The wealthy understand this. They deliberately program their children with different beliefs. Rich kids learn that money is a tool. Poor kids learn that money is trauma. Same intelligence, different programming, completely different outcomes. But here's the liberation. Programs can be rewritten, And today you're getting the source code. Faith decoded. Faith isn't religious. It isn't wishful thinking. And it definitely isn't ignoring reality. Real faith is a calculated bet on yourself. It's the ability to act despite uncertainty, to move forward when you can't see the entire path. Faith moves, fear freezes. Think about it. Every wealthy person had to invest before they saw returns, start before they felt ready, believe before they had proof. That's faith. Not blind optimism, but informed courage. The science is clear. Studies from Harvard Business School found that entrepreneurs who succeeded weren't less afraid than those who failed. They felt the same fear. The difference was their relationship with uncertainty. They treated it as information, not as a stop sign. Fear says don't move until you're certain. Faith says move and become certain. Certainty is not a prerequisite for action, it is a result of it. This is why poor people wait for the perfect moment that never comes, while rich people create their moment through imperfect action. Faith isn't about feeling confident. It's about acting despite feeling terrified. And that distinction is worth millions. The comfort trap. Your comfort zone is the most expensive place you'll ever live. It costs you everything you could have been, everyone you could have helped, every experience you could have had. And the rent, your potential. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Here's the cruel irony. The comfort zone isn't even comfortable. It's familiar. There's a massive difference. You can be miserable and still be in your comfort zone because at least you know this particular misery. The fear of unknown success is often greater than the pain of known failure. Familiar. Your brain craves predictability, even negative predictability. It would rather you stay broke and certain than wealthy and uncertain. That's why lottery winners go bankrupt. Wealth doesn't match their internal thermostat. 1. They feel like imposters with money. 2. They unconsciously sabotage their new wealth. 3. They return to their programmed baseline. 4. Comfort beats success every time. The wealthy have a different relationship with discomfort. They've learned that growth and comfort cannot coexist. Every expansion of your wealth requires an expansion of your tolerance for uncertainty. The question isn't whether you'll feel uncomfortable. It's whether you'll let discomfort stop you. Scarcity vision. Fear doesn't just affect how you feel about money. It literally changes how you see opportunities. When you're operating from fear, your brain activates scarcity mode. Resources look limited. Competition looks fierce. Every opportunity looks like a potential loss. Scarcity blinds, abundance finds. Princeton researchers discovered something remarkable. When people were primed with scarcity thinking, their effective IQ dropped by 13 points. That's the difference between average and gifted intelligence. Fear literally makes you dumber. It narrows your focus to immediate survival and blinds you to long-term opportunity. The wealthy see a different world because they think with a different mind. Same economy, same market, completely different perception. Where you see reasons why it won't work, they see paths that might. Where you see risk, they see calculated probability. Fear shows you evidence of danger everywhere. Faith shows you evidence of possibility. Both are selective. Both find what they are looking for. The question is, which filter are you using to see your financial reality? And more importantly, who installed that filter? The money story. You don't just have beliefs about money. You have an entire story. And that story is running your financial life like a script you didn't write. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are become who we become. Listen to how you talk about money. I'm not good with numbers. Money always slips through my fingers. I'm just not a money person. Rich people are different from me. These aren't observations. They are prophecies. Your brain is constantly trying to make reality match your story. If your story says you struggle with money, your brain will find creative ways to make that true. It will sabotage opportunities. You don't even realize you're sabotaging. The wealthy have different stories. They say things like, money flows to me easily. I always find a way. Opportunities find me. Wealth is my natural state. Same world, different story, completely different bank account. Here's the power move. You can rewrite your story. not by pretending but by deliberately choosing new narratives and then collecting evidence to support them. Every small financial win becomes proof of your new identity. Every obstacle overcome becomes part of your hero's journey. Your story isn't fact. It's fiction you've mistaken for reality. Fear's hidden gift. Here's the twist nobody expects. Fear isn't your enemy. It's your compass. Every fear you have about money is pointing directly at your next breakthrough. Afraid to negotiate your salary, that fear is showing you where your growth is. Terrified of investing, that terror is highlighting exactly what you need to learn. Fear shows the way. The wealthy don't avoid fear. They follow it. They've learned that the things that scare them most are usually the things that will change them most. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Think about the last time you did something financially terrifying. Maybe you asked for a raise, started a side business, made an investment. How did you feel afterward? Probably alive, probably proud, probably like a slightly different person. Growth, that's because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of fear. And every act of financial courage rewires your brain to see money differently. Fear becomes a signal for opportunity rather than a command to retreat. Your relationship with fear determines your relationship with wealth. They are inseparable. The faith formula. Faith isn't something you either have or don't. It's a muscle you build through deliberate practice. And like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. 1. Start with small acts of financial courage. 2. Collect evidence of your capabilities. 3. Gradually increase your tolerance for uncertainty. 4. Celebrate every win no matter how small. 5. Use fear as a compass, not a stop sign. The first step is awareness. Notice when fear is making your decisions. Notice the physical sensations, the racing heart, the tightening chest, the voice that says play it safe. Then ask yourself one question. Is this fear protecting me from real danger or imaginary danger? 90% of the time, it's imaginary. Your nervous system is responding to a story, not a reality. The second step is action despite fear, not elimination of fear, action despite it. Do the thing that scares you before your brain can talk you out of it. Each time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you can handle uncertainty. And that proof becomes the foundation of unshakable faith. This isn't motivation. This is neuroscience. You're literally rewiring your relationship with money. Your choice now. Right now in this moment, you're standing at a crossroads. Every single day you choose between fear and faith, and that choice compounds. Fear plus time equals poverty, not just financial poverty, poverty of experience, poverty of growth, poverty of becoming who you were meant to be. Faith plus time equals abundance, not just money, abundance of opportunity, abundance of capability, abundance of life fully lived. Fear times time equals loss. The wealthy aren't special. They're not smarter than you. They've simply made a different choice more consistently. They've chosen faith over fear enough times that their nervous system now defaults to courage instead of retreat. You are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequence of your choice. Tomorrow you'll face a financial decision. Maybe small, maybe significant. In that moment you'll feel fear. Everyone does. The question isn't whether fear will show up. It's whether fear will make the decision or you will. Your past programming doesn't have to determine your future results. Starting today, starting now, starting with the very next choice you make. You've just seen behind the curtain. The invisible war between fear and faith that determines every dollar in your bank account. You've seen how fear hijacks your decisions, how poverty was programmed into you before you could choose, and how the wealthy use the same emotions differently. Awareness is the first victory, but knowing isn't enough. Information without action is just entertainment. The real question is what you'll do with what you've learned. Will you let fear continue to run your financial life from the shadows? Or will you start treating every fear as a compass pointing toward your next breakthrough? The wealthy aren't fearless, they are fear-fluent. They've learned to speak fear's language and use it as fuel instead of chains. And now you have the same knowledge, the same tools, the same choice. If you made it this far, comment fear to faith if you're ready to reprogram your relationship with money. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it. If this exposed something in you, hit subscribe. There's more uncomfortable truth waiting. Remember, you're not a victim of your finances. You're the programmer of your mind. Start the upgrade today.